Hey guys, John Rettinger from TechnoBuffalo here. I've had the Dell Adamo XPS for just about a week. When I first got it in for testing, I had two initial concerns. The first was typing. How was typing going to work in different environments with that weird slanted keyboard? Well, I did a video showing how it worked on a desk, on a couch, in a chair, and while it was on your lap, and suddenly typing on the keyboard wasn't a concern. It actually was a very pleasant experience. The next big worry I had was performance. With an ultra-low voltage chip, traditionally they're not known for any sort of graphics output or the capability to handle a significant amount of HD video. Now, I'm under no illusions that I'm going to be able to play 3D games on here. I'm not that big of a PC gamer anyway, but watching HD video is very important, both on Hulu and YouTube. So I wanted to make sure that the Adamo XPS could handle that. So what I've got right here is going to be a demonstration of how that works. I'm recording the screen directly from a camera. I didn't want to use a screen recording program because I wanted you to be able to see what the processor could do on its own without having to run any sort of screen capture program. So let's go over some specs before we start. It's running an Intel Core 2 Duo CPU. It's the U9400 at 1.4 gigahertz. It's got 4 gigs of DDR3 RAM. It's running a 64-bit operating system. Of course, that's Windows Home Premium 7. And it's sitting on top of a 128 gigabyte solid state drive. So I went and ran the Windows Performance and Windows Experience Index. Let's see what the scores shook down to. So a 3.2 was the score overall, but the score is based on the lowest number. So for processor, we got a 4.2, which is not bad. For memory, we got a 5.2. For graphics, we got a 3.2. This is using Intel integrated graphics. Gaming graphics, 3.2, and primary hard disk, not surprising, a very strong 6.7 due to that solid state drive. So let's go ahead and start opening up some YouTube and Hulu, and we'll see how all that works out. I'm going to open up here as well the task manager so you can see how far and how taxed the processor is. So just sort of sitting here doing general stuff, hovering around 15% just with this opened up. Nothing else is really open here, with the exception of Google Notifier. So we will open up YouTube and we'll check out an HD video. Go to my YouTube channel and we'll check out, so I guess, fitting the unboxing of the Adamo XPS. You can see the number right in the corner as far as the processor that's being used. So just here, sort of playing at a standard. John Rettinger from TechnoBuffalo here at the playing on sort of as a standard video, it jumps up to about 40%. Now, if we take a regular video and we make it full screen, not gonna be able to see the processor, but it plays pretty smoothly. There's no skipping or jumping in standard resolution. The audio is sunk up nicely. It's like watching on any other computer. Now, what happens if we bump this up to high def? So we'll go from 320 to 480, and right now we're at about 44%. Let's see what happens. So you do see a jump, definitely went from that 44 range up to 65, but it is still playing very smoothly. No hiccups, no jumps, looks very good. Certainly this is more than capable of handling 420p video. Now this one goes up to 720p. Let's see how it handles 720. Thinking about it, and there it goes. Now it jumps up not as much, but definitely goes up high. Now we're sort of hovering around the high 70s, low 80s, saw it jump to 90. Now we're back up to 100%, and then it falls back down. So it does play, and again, it plays very smooth, but you're definitely taxing the processor. Let's skip to where there's some action. You can see that it's relatively fluid here, not on full screen. Let's go ahead and full screen this and see how it looks. So it's playing at full screen. It looks very smooth. I'm not seeing any jumping or pixelation or any loss of frames. It looks just like it would on any laptop without a consumer ultra-low voltage chip. So any sort of standard Core 2 Duo, it looks very nice and it's very capable. It's certainly taxing the processor though quite a bit playing that. So here we are, now it's still playing 720 and we're now at about 80%. Let's say you want to do something else. Let's say you have a Microsoft Word document open in the background. How is that going to kill your processor? Is that going to affect everything? So go ahead and open that up. Just minimize it here. Now we're up at 100%. And things are still playing smoothly even though well, now we dropped down to 80. We haven't experienced any loss of frame rate. We'll jump around. So as far as having one program open, we're still okay. What if we've got a couple tabs open here? So we'll go to, how about just go to CNN a few times. What happens? Well, it still seems to be playing smoothly. Oh, starting to see a little bit of jumping there. Looks like it had a catch up. So we start to see a little bit of choppiness now. Although it did catch up and things are back to being smooth, but it wasn't a completely seamless transition. What if we go full screen now with Word and a couple tabs open? So it still is playing smooth. It's not as smooth as it was. There's a tad bit of choppiness that I'm noticing, but it's definitely watchable. So go ahead and close this. So the moral with YouTube, at least, is that this is a very capable computer for streaming YouTube video. You got to be careful with what you have open. You can't have, IM, Microsoft Word, Excel, and 5 or 6 programs open while you're streaming HD video full screen. It's just not going to cut it. But if you're sort of selective about how you do it, the Adamo XPS can more than handle it. So let's jump things over to Hulu, and I'll shut down everything else that we sort of ran during our tests. And we'll see how this plays streaming content from Hulu. So we immediately jumped back down there to 36, 39%. Let's just go ahead and pick a clip. Pick a clip from, let's say, The Office. So just standard definition, see how it plays. We're going to get a commercial beforehand, I think. So it is playing nice and smooth. The audio is turned down, but the audio does sync up quite nicely, and the audio is not an issue. The only issues that I ever experienced when things did get choppy was just in the video department. So advertisement for Disney. Right now we're still at about 36%, so we're pretty low. I assume once the video plays, we're going to jump up. So about 60, 50%, it seems to hover down. Now it's back to 43. No loss of fidelity whatsoever. It seems that Hulu is actually less resource intensive than YouTube was. Kind of interesting. Let's go ahead and up the content here and up the size. We'll go ahead and make this full screen. No problem. Things look nice and smooth. No loss of video fidelity. Alright, what if we up this to, right now we're at 420p. We'll go to 420p. So that was high resolution, and it worked pretty well. Now we're a little bit lower, and if we want to, go full screen here, we're able to play it no problem. So what if we have Word open again? Let's say we got a couple tabs sitting here. Well, let's see, CNN a few times. Sort of standard stuff, if you have an IM program open, wherever it might be. Let's see how that taxes the processor. So we're still at about 40%. And we're watching this still in HD. We can kick it over to 320, but video fidelity is still quite good. We're a bit high at 70%. Let's see if it does full screen. No jump at all. Video quality looks fantastic. So the moral here looks to be that Hulu is more resource efficient than YouTube. And this is a very capable laptop for doing almost everything. I've actually been really impressed with the chip they put in here, especially in such a small, thin package. It's extremely capable of handling really every day-to-day task that I've thrown at it. And I've even done some light video editing on it as well, and it's handled it like a champ. So if you're worried about how the Adamo XPS is going to be with HD video, you can put those fears and worries at rest, and you can enjoy your computer. So there'll be more Dell Adamo XPS coming up, so stay tuned to the channel for all of that, and of course TechnoBuffalo. I'm John Rettinger, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.